In this presentation, we will discuss some important questions related to stacks. So without any further delay, let's get started. Question number 1. Which of the following permutation can be obtained in the same order using a stack assuming that input is the sequence 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order? These are all the options available in front of you. And this question has been asked in ISRO CS 2017. I would encourage you to pause the video for a while and try to answer this question on your own. I hope you're done. Okay, let's move on to the solution. This question is asking us that which of the following permutation can be obtained in the same order. Okay, these are all the permutations available. Now we have to find which of the following permutation can be obtained in the same order using a stack. We need a stack, of course, assuming that the input is the sequence 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the assumption that the input to the stack is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first element that needs to be inserted is 5, then 6, then 7, then 8 and finally 9, right? This order is important. Now we have to find the correct permutation out of these permutations. Fine. Let's consider one stack, and obviously we first have to consider this particular option, that is 7, 8, 9, 5, 6. This is option A, right? Let's see whether this is the correct permutation or not. Okay. First we have to insert this element 5, right? So let me just call push function. And with the help of this push function, we would be able to insert this element onto stack. So let's just insert this element onto stack. After this, we have to call push 6 because the first element that we want is 7, right? We want to pop this element out of stack, but before that we have to push this element, then only we can push this element, right? And that is why it is important to push 6 first, and then after this we can push 7. Now we can pop this element out of stack. Okay. In this way, we would be able to obtain the sequence. The first element is popped. Now we want element 8, right? So let me just push this element 8 onto stack. And then we have to pop this element because we want this in our sequence. That's why we have to call the pop function to pop this element out of stack. And then after this, you can see in this sequence, we want element 9. For this purpose, we have to push 9, right? Now this means that 9 will get inserted in this stack. After this, we have to pop this element out of stack, right? After this, we want 5 and 6. But you can see this in this stack that we have 6 as the topmost element. And then we have 5. So we will get this element before this element. Isn't that so? If we simply call pop function, then we will be able to obtain this element, right? And then after this element. So the sequence is 7, 8, 9, 6, 5. It is clear that option A is the incorrect option. 7, 8, 9, 5, 6 is not correct. But you can see this that option C is correct. As you can see, this is the sequence so obtained, right? 7, 8, 9, 6, 5, not 5, 6. You can see this 7, 8, 9, then 6, then 5. So option C is the correct option, but option A is not the correct option. But for the completion, let's consider option B as well. Now here, we need to push element 5 first. So let me push this element. You can see in the sequence, the first element that we need is 5. Therefore, we have to call the pop function, right? So let me just pop this element out of stack. After this, the next inserted element will be 6. So let me call the push function and also pass 6 to it, right? So let me just push this element onto stack. The next element must be 9, so we have to push 7. Then after this, push 8. Then push 9, right? Okay, now we would be able to obtain 9. Let me just call the pop. And after this element will get deleted out of stack, right? Now the next element that we want is 6. But here we would be able to obtain 8, right? We will get 8, 7, 6 and not 6, 7, 8. You can see the sequence over here. We will get 8, 7, 6, not 6, 7, 8. Hence, this option is also incorrect. Okay? I hope this is clear to you. Now, let's see option D. In this option, you can see that we will get 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 and not 9, 8, 7, 5, 6. This is not possible. The sequence is not possible, right? The first element that we want is 9. So we have to insert all elements into the stack. Then after this, when we start popping the elements, we would be able to obtain 9, 8, 7, then 6, then 5, right? Because 5 is inserted before 6 onto stack. It is clear from this fact that option D is also incorrect. Hence, We are sure about this that option C is the correct option. Okay. Let's consider question number 2. Stack A has the entries A, B, C with A on top. Stack B is empty. An entry popped out of stack A can be printed immediately or pushed to stack B. Okay. So an entry popped out of stack B can only be printed. In this arrangement, which of the following permutations of A, B, C are not possible? So these are all the options available in front of you. This question has been asked in ISRO CS 2018. I would encourage you to pause the video for a while and try to answer this question on your own. I hope you're done. Okay, let's move on to the solution. Here you can see the question is saying that stack A has the entries A, B, C. This means stack A already has 3 elements, right? With A on top. So it is clear that the first element that is pushed inside stack is C. Then after this, the second element is B. And the third element that is pushed is A. That is why you would be able to obtain A on top, right? Stack B is empty. Currently stack B is empty. There are 2 stacks, stack A and stack B. Stack A has 3 entries and stack B is empty. An entry popped out of stack A can be printed immediately. So this is the option which we are available with. An entry popped out of stack A can be printed immediately or pushed to stack B. There are 2 possible options, right? The first option is that an entry popped out of stack A can be printed immediately or it can be pushed to stack B. An entry popped out of stack B can only be printed. Okay. So if we have some element inside stack B and if you try to pop that element out of stack, then we can only print this element. We cannot push that element to stack A or some other stack, right? In this arrangement, which of the following permutations of A, B, C are not possible? Let's see the option A first, that is B, A and C. We have to consider 2 different stacks, stack A and stack B, and we know the initial arrangement already. Stack A has 3 elements and stack B is empty. This is given in the question, right? And A must be on top. Okay. Now after this, we have to check this whether this permutation is possible or not. We want that this element must be printed on the screen, right? B must be printed, not A. There are 2 possible options for stack A. An entry popped out of stack A can be printed immediately or pushed to stack B. Obviously, we cannot select the first option because here it is asking us to simply pop the element out of stack and print it immediately. We cannot do this, right? We have to print this element B. Therefore, we can only push this element to stack B. That is this element to stack B. Hence, we have to do this. First, we have to pop this element out of stack A and we have to push this element A onto stack B. That is what we will do here. Okay. And then after this, we want that this element must be printed on the screen. And you can see that this element is exposed. This is the topmost element of the stack, right? So we can simply pop this element out of stack and can print this element. This is the first option, right? So let me just pop this element out of stack and print this over here. For this, we will do this thing, that is pop this element and print this element on the screen. And this is how it looks like, right? After this, we can see the topmost element of stack A is C and topmost element of stack B is A. The second element that we want to print is A. Here you can see that stack B has A, right? An entry popped out of the stack B can only be printed. So we can simply print this element on the screen. Isn't that so? For this purpose, we can simply pop this element out of stack and print this element. Okay. And this is how it looks like. After this, we can pop this element out of stack and print this element on the screen. Isn't that so? So let me just pop this element and print this over here. So this is the output so obtained, BAC. Hence it is clear that option A is not correct. This is the correct permutation, right? We have to find which of the following permutations of ABC are not possible. This is possible. Hence this is not the correct option. Let's look into this option, that is option B, BCA. Obviously the initial arrangement is CBA or ABC from the top in this particular stack. Now we want to print this first, right? For this purpose, we have to pop an element out of stack A and push A onto stack B, right? And then after this, we can simply pop this element out of stack and print this element. For this purpose, we have to call the pop function and then print B, right? Okay, we have obtained B. Now after this we need C. We can take the C from stack A. It is simple. Here we have to call the pop function and obviously we have to print C. Simple. And then after this, from stack B, we can call the pop function and print this element on the screen. This sequence is also possible. Hence, this option is also not correct, right? Let's see this option. Option C. C, A, B. This is the initial arrangement. And what we want this particular permutation. Let's see whether this is possible or not. And you can see the first element of this permutation is C. For this purpose, we first have to pop this element out of stack and push this onto stack B, right? So let me just do this. After this, we have to pop this element out of stack and push this over here in this particular stack. That's why we have to call this again. Here in stack A, we have to pop this element and push this particular element onto stack B, right? Now you can see element C is exposed. This is the topmost element of stack A. Now we can print this element. Obviously, we first have to pop this element and then we can print this element. For this purpose, we have to call this pop function and then after this, we can simply print this on the screen. Now we want that element A must be printed, right? But you can see this that we cannot print this element A. The topmost element of the stack is B and not A. Let me tell you, according to the question, an entry popped out of stack B can only be printed. We cannot do this, that we can pop this element out of stack and push this over here in stack A. This is not allowed, right? We can only pop this element out of stack and print this on the screen. Hence, we would be able to obtain CBA but not CAB, right? It is not possible to print AB as the topmost element of the stack is B and not A. Hence, this option is the correct option, right? And let me tell you, this option is also incorrect because this sequence is also possible. You can see this, right? Obviously, you can pop this element out of stack and print this on the screen. And then after this, you can pop this element out of stack and print this element on the screen. You can also pop this element and print this on the screen, right? This is the sequence so obtained, A, B, C, right? So option D is also incorrect. Hence, it is clear that option C is the correct option, right? Always read the questions carefully. It has been asked in the question that in this arrangement, which of the following permutations of A, B, C are not possible? Not possible. It might be possible that you will select this option and say that, okay, this is the correct option. But let me tell you, this is not the correct option. The question is asking us that which of the following permutations of A, B, C are not possible, right? That is why it is important to read the questions twice so that we won't miss anything. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation.